Welcome back to the Derek Smith Spiel. This is episode 10, and today I'm with internet influencer Brian Fay. Well, that is what you're planning to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're going to Houghton College?
Houghton University.
Houghton University.
Yep, they just got changed to a university the past couple of years. I think that it just allows for them to give more money, honestly.
Yeah. What are you majoring in?
English education.
So do you want to be an English teacher?
I do. Yep, high school for sure.
What made you interested in that?
So, I think that like all of my teachers, I've had my 4 years here at Letchworth, but including Mr. Murstock. I gotta give a big shout out to John Murstock. He's a great teacher. It's kind of sad that we only got him for a part of the year, but he really influenced me, and he told me multiple times that he saw a career field for me in being in teaching, and especially in English. So and it kind of goes with the theme. I think that's what's just one of the ways that we can influence people, and influence kids, and your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25.
Yeah.
For men, I think females is 21.
I think it's younger. Yeah.
21, 25. Yeah, I think. And so it's just like having the power to influence the mind of the upcoming generation.
Yeah, so you want to be able to help kids develop and understand what they want.
Exactly.
And English is definitely a way to do it with so many coming of age books.
Exactly.
And stuff like that. How did Mr. Mertsock influence you so much? Like, was it just his teaching style?
Yeah.
Certain conversations?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Derek, you're not going to get a chance to get taught by Mr. Murstock.
No, he's out.
He's out of here, man. He is enjoying the Florida beach right now.
Good for him.
No, he really cares about his students, Derek.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, he, he kind of like what I was saying is that he just wanted to impact lives. He just wanted to do what was best for the kids, and he just did. And he just, English was just his way of doing that. And so, like he always knew that your best interest was at his heart.
Yeah.
And also, like things that he told me is like, he was harder on us in the beginning of the year, because that's like the foundation that he wants to set. Like if you're a teacher and you were easy in the beginning, they're never going to respect you.
Right.
They're going to try to manipulate you in order to to get better grades and stuff like that. But he was very strong. But even though he was a strong teacher and he was very like solid, he didn't like you knew that he still cared for you. And that's a really hard balance to achieve as a teacher. Being strong in the classroom and having a strong foundation, and yet also knowing that like you love your students.
Have you read any books on teaching, or is this because what you're saying is there's a lot of depth to it? Have you read books on it? Is this just what you've observed?
This was what I've observed from Mr. Murstock.
Have you talked to Mr. Murstock about it?
Yeah.
What is he like? Do you compliment him like this when you talk to him? Is he?
No. I don't want to put any feathers in that man's head. No. No.
Gotta keep him humble.
Gotta keep him humble, but also on this podcast too.
So how do you said how Mr. Murstock has influenced you? How do you try and influence others?
Yeah, I think two things. One is my faith. Obviously I believe in Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I believe that He's my center and that He's my solid foundation. And I think with that, just being optimistic. I think and I know we're gonna get into this, but I think that like just like the world can be a very negative place. It could be very down. It could be very dark. But just a smile, just a fist bump in the hallway, just a smile can lighten someone's day. In the ways that we don't even understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's once you get in a negative mindset, it's hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to force yourself to be positive, and then it's contagious.
Exactly.
You don't know where you can go from there.
I mean, even in your personal life, Derek, think about this. Like, have you ever won a match thinking that you were going to lose before you stepped out onto the mat?
No.
Never. You never think negativity before you go out there. I remember that one match that I had, my first ever match, against that really tall kid from Warsaw.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now.
I can't even remember either.
Um,
I'm terrible at scouting, so I'm not the
yeah.
guy to ask.
Oh man, he was some. I don't know. Anyways, this dude was like 250,
Hmm.
6'4", and like, and I remember Coach telling Coach Weaver, I don't care who it is, I want a match today. Give me a match. Give me a match.
Yeah.
And he kind of like looked at me and goes, okay, okay. And I didn't think he was going to. I thought he was going to like, in one ear and out the other.
Hmm.
And then he puts me against this like daddy long legs guy. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I remember I'm over there. I'm like, jump in. And Keontae Murray at the time, she came over to me and I was terrified. But even in that moment, I was in a negative mindset. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose. And what happened out there? I went on the mat and lost in 10 seconds, if that. And so from that day, and many more experiences, I realized how much of a positive versus negative mindset can make a difference.
How long did it take you to self-reflect on that? Was it after the match?
Oh yeah.
How long after? Like, was it on the ride home when you're like, you know what? I never gave my chance to. Never gave myself a chance to perform the way I know I could.
Yeah, I think it was like that realization happened right after the match. Like, wow, I didn't give myself a chance. But I think like the Lord has put things in my life the past 4 years, like little stories and glimpses of like that. That now, me being a senior, about to go off to college, I realized that all these little different stories have really made up the whole story of my life. Honestly,
that's a great time to realize it. Now you're gonna be like officially on your own. Are you gonna live at the university?
I'm living on campus.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Yes,
so get into your Instagram account a little bit. It's an inspirational account. Yeah, just tell us what it's about, what the main message is. You've kind of already told us. But...
Yeah, so I saw this stat. I was watching a podcast by Craig Groeschel. It was called the Leadership Podcast from Craig Groeschel, and he's a pastor. And I was just watching one, and he said a stat. He said that so if you have a video like that's positively encouraging, and you have a video that's negatively encouraging, then the negative video is 10 times more likely to go viral than the positive. And I was like, that just hit me.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, Derek, how often do you see negative stuff on Instagram versus positive?
That's negatives everywhere. You gotta look to find the positive.
Exactly. And so, like everyone asks me, like, oh, is your goal to go viral? Oh, do you want to be a big influencer, or do you want, and sure that all that stuff can be fun and I can laugh at that. But what I really want to do is just put out positivity. Sure, I might have only 400, 500 likes on the video. Sure, I might only have 1,000 followers, but there's 2,000 people seeing that video. So right. I don't really go for likes or follows. I look for views. How many people out there are you seeing this and are being positively impacted by just a few words? And how can me just taking a step of faith positively encourage someone just for a day? Because it all starts with this one day, one video, one day, one smile. That's where I want to start. And so, and then so that's my number. That's number two, and my number one is I just want to share my faith. I found so much like hope and love, and like a home in my faith that if I could influence and if I could encourage somebody else too, that's the great commission.
You found what works for you, what you believe in, and you figured why not share it. Exactly. That's a great thing. So many people, when they think they found what works, they keep it like a secret.
Yeah.
Like since they've got it, they want it. But to give it out to other people, that's the real. One of my wrestling coaches, D. Google, he's an amazing person. Everyone should have the chance to meet D. When we come into the room, any new kid, he asks them if they do a move, or maybe he asks them what they do, and if he likes it, he says this is the room to show it. He said there's no secrets, it's an open environment. He wants everyone defines success differently, but he wants to set up everyone for the best, so they perform the best of their abilities, which that's a sports take on it, but even for life, whether it's anything, to help out is a great thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are you going to send that message through videos? Do you have like a plan? Do you have it planned out?
Yeah,
What you're
so I kind of got lazy this past week, but my plan now is one video per week. It'll be
Mhm.
out every weekend. So the latest is a Sunday, and yeah, but it's just gonna be a 10-second video at max, unless it's one of my progress videos, which might be a
Yeah.
little longer. But for the encouraging side of things, just be a 10-second video, just with a positive, encouraging, loving, short sentence that can just lighten your day a little bit.
Yeah, it only takes something small.
Only something small.
And what I've noticed is maybe it could be anything. Maybe a certain punchline to a joke, like you see it once and maybe you scroll past it and then all of a sudden you see it again and like you take it more seriously the second
Yeah.
time. So if you just put it out weekly, just even if they just glance at it the first time and scroll by it, if they keep seeing it out there, it can be contagious.
Exactly.
Especially, and there really needs to be more positive stuff on the internet.
For sure.
Is so X, formerly Twitter, is that still like negative?
Oh
I've
yeah,
never.
I'm not even on Twitter. X, sorry. Yeah. I feel like X has become a political playground.
Yeah, I've never been on
nowadays.
X or Twitter, but everything I hear is just about celebrities tweeting
Yes,
back and forth,
yes,
which
yeah. Or the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
that's going crazy.
I didn't even hear it. I didn't even hear that at all. I tried to stay out of that one.
I've looked into it a little bit. It is. Oh, it's vile.
It's
vile.
Next subject.
Next subject.
No.
So, man, you mentioned your goals. So it's not so much personal goals. It's just that you want to inspire others.
Exactly.
So it really does not matter to you. You haven't ever said in your mind, okay, I'm putting out one video a week to get 10,000 followers. It's just been.
No, I have. My overarching goal is 10,000 followers, right? I mean that would be really, really cool. But it's not my short term goal is 1,000, and so I think I'm just about there. I think I'm like 900 followers. So a couple more followers will get me my first goal. I call it my benchmark goal.
Your benchmark goal.
Yeah. So my overarching goal is 10,000 followers. However, that's not to get more followers or to get more attraction, to get more likes. That's not my I'm looking for a word. That's not my goal. No, it is my goal, but it's not my.
It's not your.
What's it?
I know what your.
Starts with a D.
Desire.
It's not my motivation. That's the word. The followers and likes aren't my motivation. My motivation is just encouraging someone. And even if it's just one person. If you're just having a bad day and it's just one person and they see my reel and like, you know what, that's right. I think I have one on there that says like reset, restart, refocus. Just like the three words that those three words. Someone might be like, yep, you know what, that reel's right. So now we reset my day. I'm gonna restart my day. I'm gonna refocus my mind. And then who knows how the rest of their day goes. And I really believe. I read this in a book. It was called Wonder. It was about like this kid who had autism.
Yeah.
And
it's a movie now too.
Yeah. Yep. August Pullman, I think his name was. But he said kindness is infectious. So if I just put out a little kindness and someone sees that and then they're kind and then they're kind and then they're kind. It's like a disease and then. My goal is that the next person that they see, they're kind to them, and the next person that they see that they're kind to them, and then it'll just spread like wildfire,
Yeah, that's another thing I've heard, like kill with kindness. The phrase "kill with kindness," you hear "kill" and it's got such a negative connotation, but the whole point of it is just to, don't stoop down to another level. You just. Yeah, exactly. Kindness is like planting a seed.
Exactly.
It grows from there.
Yeah.
So you remind me again your ankle injury.
Yeah. So I was at youth group, I was at my youth group and I was playing some basketball, and I was speaking at my youth group that night.
Yeah.
All right, so I prepared a message for my youth group, and I told Scott Owens, because Scott Owens and another Owens, they go to my church and
Yeah.
they pick me up and take me there. And so I told Ned and I told Mr. Owens and Mr. Owens, I was like, guys, I'm so nervous. I'm not even gonna play basketball. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna look at my notes and be ready for the sermon. And they were like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Also, let me mention that I was in my Hey Dudes. So I walk up to the court.
My mom yells at me. I'll play basketball in Crocs. She's like, take your Crocs off. So listen to your parents when they say play basketball in sneakers.
Yes.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. If I learned one thing this past year, don't play in Hey Dudes. So I walked into the gym and all the kids were like, oh, Brian is here, come play basketball. Oh, Brian, come play basketball, play basketball. And I was like, all right, I can't say no. Like it didn't even click. Like the sentences I just spoke in the car 10 minutes ago didn't even speak, didn't even register. I was like, oh, basketball, bet. And so I started out there playing, and the kid went for a pump fake, sent me flying in the air, and then he stayed down. I landed on his ankle, my ankle landed on his ankle, and then it rolled.
And it wasn't a break, was it?
No, not my ankle. It broke the fifth metatarsal on my foot. So my foot was broken now. And then I had an high ankle sprain. So
explain your recovery, but most importantly, how did you stay positive through that?
Yeah, so I don't want to go too biblically here, but there's a story and like that was once spoken like in the Bible about how like the Lord is our good shepherd, you know, and like how how a shepherd watches the flock of the sheep, so he watches the like us. And back a long time ago when they were in biblical times, if one of the sheep wandered from the flock, it would break the shepherd would break its leg and then carry it on his back for 6 months until the bone healed, as just like a correction and a teaching moment for the sheep. And then so I kind of felt like the Lord was just like kind of like I want to say like the Lord broke my foot, because he did,
right?
You know all good things come from God, but I think that the Lord just used that as an opportunity for me to become closer to Him, you know. And so that's how I look at it, and through the perspective, you know, just that like in this time I can, you know, I was out of basketball, I was out of lifting, you know, and so I used to use all of that gross time to just, you know, learn more about my faith. So the recovery, it was 6 months. Sorry, 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
In a boot. And then it was I had about 3 months of physical therapy afterwards. And then I lost just about all of my numbers for my squat and deadlift. And so I had to restart at like 135 for squatting. And I moved to a different foster home. And so now I'm with Brian and Michelle Hassel. So they've had a couple kids here over the years. And so Brian, he used to compete in powerlifting, and so he got me into that. So low bar squat, conventional deadlift, overhead press, and bench. Those are the 4 compound lifts. Okay. And so I'm really focusing on those now, and just, you know, like the body. You know, if you think about this in wrestling, right? Do you ever do you ever, like, when you wrestle, do you ever just work out your quads, or ever just work out your calves?
If you're doing a focus workout,
no, like in the match.
You're using your whole body.
Your body, yeah. Right? The whole body, like so the body likes to train as a whole unit. And so when you're doing overhead press, bench, squat, or deadlift, you're using your whole body, you know, right. And so you're training all those little muscles that you really can't get on a focused lift. So that's my recovery, is getting back into there.
Are you back to where you want to be in lifting?
No.
Do you think you'll ever be like really where you want to be, or
do you
think you'll just keep raising the bar?
Raising the bar, keep trying to get. But I am back to where I was before the injury.
That's great.
Yeah, that's really.
Do you think the injury was a turning point in your life? You said it brought you closer, you know, to God and to your beliefs. Was that part of what made you want to bring positivity into people's lives?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I said earlier, just like little things that have happened in my life. I really feel like now the Lord is just using him as a teaching moment for me, for sure. And I was kind of going down like the wrong path before I broke my foot too, and so it was kind of like a good like steering object for the Lord. And I was kind of like going off the path, and the Lord's like, no, 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 come on, get back in here, And so for sure, definitely a life changing moment for sure.
Now, that everything you've said has been amazing, beautiful. Actually, thank you for and just bringing that positive energy here.
Of course.
But to wrap this thing up on a fun, like more of a fun question, you've already told me that you think Steph Curry is the GOAT in your opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think Steph Curry could do so that everyone thinks he is the GOAT?
Oh man, I think that I really believe that Steph Curry is already the GOAT.
Because he's the best in 3-point shooting, which is his specialty.
Mm-hmm.
He usually leads the league in steals, or is pretty close, isn't he?
He's pretty close.
So offense, defense.
Yeah.
Do you think it's got to be another ring? What's the hold up?
I don't think personally. I don't
LeBron
think
has to retire.
Personally, I don't think that man needs to retire 4 years ago. I don't think Steph needs to do a thing. I think that man's name is going to be in the history books. I think if he gets another ring, it'd be undeniably he's the best player ever. If you look at any player right now in the NBA, who's better than Steph? I can put an argument against anyone. If you think of anyone in the past, Michael Jordan, sure, the dude's great, but the generational differences of basketball just can't be compared, right? So I would say that Michael Jordan was the GOAT of his era. I would say that Steph Curry is the GOAT of this era. You really can't. I don't want to take anything away from Michael Jordan, but also
the game's totally different.
The game's completely different. And like if you think of like LeBron versus Steph, LeBron has more points, sure, but Steph had 4 injuries.
It took LeBron a long time to get there.
Yeah,
and
so I think if you do it by per season, Steph has more points than LeBron, anyways. So you can't deny that Steph Curry is a great player, but you really cannot deny. And anyone who's listening to this at school, come talk to me. I'll give you all the facts. No one can deny. And I'm just going out to Tucker Owens and Scott Owens. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter ever lived. Period. Point over.
That's it. That's quite a way to wrap this up.
That's a mic drop.
So if you have a problem with Brian's take, you can meet him in the hallway or you can DM him. Make sure you at least check it out or follow Brian's Instagram at Brifay22. That's BRIFAY 22. Brian, thanks for being on.
Yeah, certainly, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Derek Smith Spiel. If you like what you heard, follow me on Spotify by searching the Derek Smith Spiel, clicking the follow button, and hit the bell to be notified for future episodes. You could also follow me on Instagram at DerekSmithStock13. I'll have posts for my newest episodes as well as posts of baseball and football cards. If you're ever interested in purchasing a card or checking out my collection, you can check out my Collects account at Derek Smith Stock. If you ever get bored and find yourself on YouTube, check out Dylan Smith's Outdoors to see Dylan Smith's adventures in the woods, as well as cooking videos. Last but not least, if you need your lawn or house sprayed, call Greenwood Ecologics at 585-739-1610. Now, one last time, thank you for listening. I'll catch you later.